Coming to you from Annapolis, Maryland, home of the U.S. Naval Academy, the sailing capital of the world, home of the world's largest crab feast, and 4 signers of the Declaration of Independence. This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, a daily roundup of local news that you can use, including local sports, local events, local opinion, and local weather from DMV Weather. Now here's your host, publisher of Eye on Annapolis, John Frenaye.
Good morning. It is Thursday, November 16th. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief.
There is now up to a $62,000 reward for the identity of this killer, this cold, callous killer who shot a Baltimore police detective in the head while that Baltimore police detective was just doing his job on behalf of this city. And that's what he's been doing for 18 years. 18 years. This is a dangerous profession. This is a dangerous job. Police officers know that at any given time they could confront someone who wants to do them harm. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Our thoughts and prayers are with our detective, with his wife, with his 2 children, as he continues to fight for his life.
And that was Baltimore Police Commissioner Kevin Davis doing something that no chief ever hopes they will ever have to do. A Baltimore detective is in grave condition after he was shot in the head in West Baltimore yesterday. The officer was in the area investigating a case when he approached a person who was exhibiting suspicious behavior and was shot. Governor Larry Hogan said on his Twitter feed yesterday that the individual responsible for this heinous crime will be found, charged, and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The Baltimore Police has our full support as they track down this violent criminal and bring him to justice. Arundel County Police are offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information in an October 4th double shooting in Brooklyn Park. Darrell Blow of Dundalk and Kessa Baker of Baltimore were found shot dead in the car when officers and paramedics responded to a motor vehicle accident in the 5100 block of Patrick Henry Drive. The vehicle, driven by Blow, crashed through a fence and struck a garage before catching on fire. Both Blow and Baker were pronounced dead at the scene. Police say they believe people who weren't comfortable coming forward in October might be available to talk to them more than a month after the shooting. They have interviewed several witnesses so far and are actively pursuing any leads. Anyone with any information is asked to call homicide detectives at 410-222-4731. And of course, any anonymous tips can be called into the county tip line at 410-222-4700. An Eastern Shore teacher was arrested Tuesday on allegations that she sold drugs at a school. The Wicomico County Sheriff's Office arrested Monica Snee, 51, of Salisbury, and she faces several drug charges involving charges related to heroin, oxycodone, and Suboxone. The Sheriff's Office said officials started in October to investigate her in connection with the distribution of heroin and prescription medications. They say that she sold drugs throughout Wicomico County, including on the grounds of Parkside High School, where she was employed. Deputies stopped her car as she left the school and found more than 100 capsules containing what they identified as heroin, hundreds of oxycodone pills, a small amount of Suboxone strips. Officials said the deputies also found almost $3,000 in cash along with empty plastic baggies. She did not have a prescription for any of it, and she remains held in jail on a $50,000 bond. Ocean City town leaders are considering beefing up security along the popular boardwalk now that terrorists who drive cars or trucks into crowds have become a worldwide concern. City engineer Terry McGee said that unauthorized vehicles are of course prohibited on the boardwalk. However, we do not physically control that access. He recommends new barriers such as bollards and gates be added at every vehicle access point. Currently there are 33 of them, and 3 more will be added during the off-season. He continued that these barriers, in order to do the job that I think the mayor and council envisions them doing, need to be able to stop a medium-sized truck such as a U-Haul. Moving on into some better news, Hunt Valley, Maryland-based Sinclair Broadcast Group is working to complete its $3.9 billion acquisition of Tribune Media, says it will invest $12 million in its Hunt Valley headquarters and more than double its Maryland workforce. Currently, Sinclair has 333 employees, and says it expects to add 367 full-time employees by the end of 2013. Sinclair owns 193 television stations and 89 U.S. markets, including WJLA Channel 7 in Washington, D.C. If you're thinking about traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday, you're in good company. About 106 million Marylanders are expected to travel 50 miles or more for Thanksgiving, according to new estimates from AAA Mid-Atlantic, which is a 3.4% increase from last year. Nationally, about 50.9 million Americans will travel for the holiday, and the vast majority of Marylanders are going to be driving, 91%. 7% will fly, and 2% will use, quote, other modes of transportation, such as train or boat. I guess bicycle, skateboard, those always work there as well. That's it for the news today. Stay tuned. We've got George Young with DMV Weather with your local weather forecast.
This is Maryland. The weather can be nearly unpredictable. We've got George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis to sort it all out.
Hey everyone, this is George from DMV Weather. Here's your Annapolis forecast for Thursday, November 16th. Following some very light rain showers that came through the region overnight, we'll have dry conditions and fairly clear skies both today and tomorrow in the Annapolis area before some rain in the PM hours and overnight hours Saturday into Sunday, followed by some cooler temps on Sunday. For today specifically, we forecasted a target high temp of 55 degrees for downtown Annapolis and 56 degrees for BWI Airport, which may just break our streak of 9 consecutive days of below average high temps for the area. For reference, the average high temp for November 16th today at BWI is 56 degrees. Look for breezy conditions to kick in later today as a cold front moves through the region sometime midday, and winds of 10 to 20 with gusts 20 to 30 kick in between noon and midnight out of the northwest. Tomorrow should be sunny with light winds, but temps will definitely be several degrees cooler than today and right back to being well below average with highs near 50. Then we flip-flop again back up to mid to upper 50s for highs on Saturday ahead of another cold front for Sunday, with showers coming through later in the day Saturday and the overnight hours Saturday into Sunday morning, which is much better than we thought early week when it looked like it might rain all day Saturday. So right now it looks like the weekend should be pretty dry during the daylight hours, both Saturday and Sunday. Okay, that's it for us today. Get our free weather app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store by searching for DC MDVA Weather. And know you can always follow us 24/7, 365 on our website at dmvweather.com or on social media via Twitter or Facebook. This is George Young of DMV Weather with your Annapolis forecast. Remember, whatever the weather out there, have fun and be safe.
Hey there, this is John Fernay, and the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief is sponsored by, well, it could be you. Podcasting is a growing trend, and since launching on September 1st, we have more than 10,000 downloads of this podcast, plus thousands of listens on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. In addition to our Facebook page, All Annapolis, and our Twitter account, we distribute the Daily News Brief to Apple Podcasts, which used to be called iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and the TuneIn app that can be played on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. We focus on local news, local weather, local events, and local sports, including high school and college. So our audience is pretty tightly targeted to the greater Annapolis area. And if you own or manage a local business, you're a likely customer. Intrigued? Well, here's something to think about. Your company could be featured on this daily podcast for less than $20 a day. Interested? Shoot me an email and let's talk. My email address is john@eyeonannapolis.net, and that's EYEONANNAPOLIS, but you already knew that, .net. Let's get together and see what we can make happen.
Thanks for listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. If you like what you heard, make sure to tell your friends and colleagues about it. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find much more. Be sure to check out our other weekly podcast, The Maryland Crabs. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at noon. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.